Are you guys ready to talk about one of the coldest games to ever grace the gaming community in the past few years? No? Well then go bundle up, because this is going to be a good one. This is one of my absolute favorite city builders to come out in quite some time, and it's called Frostpunk, and it's delicious. Good morning, YouTubulum. My name is NoNoNoah, and welcome to Game Grind, the only gaming show on the internet that does the grinding for you, except every other review. Don't trust your sources, kids. Let's dive into the cold world that is Frostpunk. Welcome to the cold world of Frostpunk, a version of Earth that went into a new ice age at some point in the 18 or the 1900s. It doesn't quite say. However, it is a steampunk-like setting. Think Order of 1886, but cold as fuck. Now, this new ice age took hold of the world by surprise, and humanity quickly made large heat generators that they quickly transport to Antarctica. Because the coldest place on Earth is apparently the best place to camp during an ice age, I guess. After setting up this hulking iron monstrosity, the game begins. We play as the captain, the head boy, the leader, whatever you like, tasked with keeping the city alive, fed, and with purpose. And if you don't know what you're doing, the game quickly punishes you with steadily dropping temperatures, surprise moral choices that affect your city, and the big old book of laws, which allows you to pass laws that dictate who is allowed to work, what you do with your deceased, even down to how you feed your citizens. All the while you have to balance coal consumption and retrieving coal, retrieving food, iron, steam cores, which allow you to build even more advanced technologies and advanced buildings like the iron mine, the steel factory, hot houses which help you grow food, and wall drills where you can drill out frozen trees from the walls of the crater that your city sits in. It's all really cool. This isn't even me bringing up the hope and discontent system that's set in the game, whereas if your discontent gets too high, you get kicked out and exiled, or if your hope gets too low, the same happens. So you have to constantly battle that, along with battling the elements, along with battling all your resources. It's just so goddamn fun! Who you have working affects your production rates. Simply put, there are 3 or 4, depending on how you look at it, types of workers. Workers, engineers, children, and amputees. Now, workers are your standard folk, proud, simple, and take up the bulk of your work. Engineers are smart citizens. They are better utilized as healthcare workers or scientists. However, they can be placed elsewhere to increase production of a resource. And children can only work if you sign a law allowing it, which, if they do work, they'll have penalties if not working with adults, and have lower efficiency rates. It also opens up shitloads of more moral choices to have to it, like, what do you do if a child gets injured? Parents preventing their kids from working, and if you should give kids more food if they do work. Alternatively, if you don't sign this law and you don't put them to work, you'll get to put them in a daycare, and if you do put them in this daycare, they can be utilized to help engineers with patience or with technology boosts. Ultimately, it falls on you to make the correct decisions about your children and your society. And finally, the amputees. Now, this really isn't a workforce, but people who get frostbite lose limbs and can't work. However, with an addition of the factory, you can make prosthetics to return them to work. This opens up huge amounts of moral choices. That's why I chose to include them in this typing of works. And of course, you have to progress through this very long-winded tech tree that, if you're not careful and you don't advance fast enough in certain areas, it can lead to your entire city being frozen over within a couple of days. This is the game in front of you with all of its core aspects, but it's not even 1/3 of the game. In the main scenario, you build a beacon, you send scouts out to recover your lost people, and then you send your scouts out again to get lost in the ever-advancive snow wonderland that is this game. And the choices, the morality choices you have to deal with only get harder from there. It's great, it's gripping, it makes you think about what you want to do as a person and what you think is right, and I think that is absolutely bona fide. As these folks show up, you build more houses or tents, and if your city is poorly planned out, leads to them being outside of the heating of the generator. What will you do? Build steam hubs to increase your coal consumption and produce more heat in their areas, or research a larger range for your generator? Your choices affect everything in the game, and I think that's what I love about Frostpunk more than anything. It's a race against time to combat an approaching storm. Will you cut corners to get ahead, or do everything right and hope to survive? Upon exploring the snowy landscape, what will you do with other survivors or groups? Save them? Escort them back? Leave them to their fate? I mean, can you even take on mouths to feed? The ones that you have right now are starving. What makes you think that you can support more people if you don't have any food production in this bitch? I mean, come on, this isn't communist Russia! After a few days, the game throws you into a moral dilemma. A sister city named Winterhome has fallen to the cold. It splits the city into those who want to leave back to London and those who think our best bet is to stay. How will you lead the city through this? With an iron fist? Or with a faithful fist? Each leads to the ultimate goal of surviving through the biggest cold drop in the game, and God, it's brutal. And one of the coolest things of the game is after you complete a scenario, or the main storyline scenario, it takes you through a time lapse of everything you built in your city over a bird's eye view type deal above your city. All the tents you made, all the bunkhouses, everything, all while giving you all the choices you made as the leader of that city. From if you chose soup, if you chose children to work for you. It is awesome, and it shows you how quickly you have deteriorated humanity from it if you were playing like an asshole. There are plenty of scenarios to play as well. Of course, there's the main one where you learn how to play. There's one where you are defending arcs which have seeds in them from all around the world, and you have to keep them at a certain temperature, and if not, you lose. Also in that one, you have to balance what's more important, keeping these seeds alive or helping a fellow city. There's one about social class and structure losses, whereas there's even an endless mode to truly test your building skills and resource management to get you through all the winter storms. Not to mention the lovely photo mode that lets you take breathtaking screenshots and fully enjoy the game's amazing graphics. Peasants have formed this city, but lords, or higher-ranking people, have come in, and they don't know if they should let them in or not because they don't want the social class struggles to continue. And of course, there's always the great endless mode, which is so damn cool. There's even a scenario about a generator exploding, half the city catching on fire, a civil war breaking out, and in the aftermath, you were chosen to take control and salvage what is left of the city and fix the generator. Can you do it? I don't know. I certainly can't. The city planning was poor. I couldn't get around anything. It was disgusting. I had children working. I had engineers working. They were tearing down buildings that were burned. I didn't know what I was doing in that one. That one was very chaotic and very weird. But again, another completely different experience from the new home scenario that you have to play as in the main story. I am absolutely in love with this game, and the devs keep throwing more and more content at it. They've released more scenarios since the beginning of the game. They've optimized it well, and it looks stunning. It is very beautiful, and that doesn't even mention the photo mode, which makes it even prettier. If you want to look through your city and take videos and cameras, you can add snow effects. It's all really, really cool. I highly recommend this to anybody who loves city builders, and anybody who likes a really good challenge, because if you put this on the hard mode and endless mode, you will get faced with some of the most difficult storm situations ever, like storms on day 10, which, I don't know about you guys, but I can hardly get, down a skill, technology tree within 10 days. It's ridiculous. And the difficulty, and it's just amazing. I don't know what else to say about it. It is just really, really cool, and it's one of the games I keep coming back to. If you can survive the cold in this game, you're a bona fide badass, I'll tell you that much. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you think about this video down in the comments below. And please make sure you check my Patreon page out. Anything you guys give me on there will help great content like this coming out if you consider this great content. But thank you so much again for watching, and make sure you check out the Cutscene Cinema video that will drop with this video today. I will see all you know bros later.